Hey everybody.
Hello.
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 Goodbye. Pretty good.
All right, another great episode.
We survived, and you are alive again from Ghost Week.
Yeah, I'm glad I came back to life.
Not from which week.
Which week?
But we've been on the road. We went out of town for a bit to see an in-person Kenny vs. Spenny live.
Buddy Shotz hit the road.
I don't really know. What was it? It was just kind of like a... It
What
was
would you
kind of
even
like
call it?
stand-up, but they
Two
were like
dudes just-
making fun of each other.
Yeah, just like interrupting
It was
each
essentially
other.
their show, but there was no like challenge.
Yeah, until the end. There was a humiliation.
When they shoved a fucking... Spenny shoved his finger up a dude's ass that came up on stage that... I feel like that guy might have been a plant, but... Because they kept calling on him.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else they would like rip into. Well, not like them. It was mainly Spenny who was like, "You all should kiss my ass." But anyway, it was a good show.
The highlight was when he found out someone was chewing gum, and that's when he got the most mad. Spit that out right now!
Yeah, that was so random. Somebody was chewing gum. I mean, I'm sure there were a lot of people chewing gum. It's no big deal. But then he like stopped the show and was like, "Are you chewing gum?" Because they were like in the first row or whatever. And he's like, "Spit that out! That is so gross. That is the worst thing to ever be invented. Was chewing gum." And I'm like, "What?"
He picked a weird hill to die on.
Yeah. And then the person spit it out on the floor, and he's like, "Don't spit it out on the floor." No. And I was like,
You're a bunch of animals.
and Kenny was like, "What?" It was just so random. But this is not the Kenny vs. Spenny podcast.
I wish it was.
We should start one.
All right.
Go through each episode. You heard it here first, folks. This is the Booty Shots. That doesn't sound right. Booty. This is the Buddy Shots podcast. And
What week is it?
Vampire Week. I was about to say which week. I don't know how would you do Vampire Week?
Vampire Week.
The same way we do which week.
Yeah.
Which week? Yeah, Vampire Week. This is... I don't know what to say about this week. This is a kind of a fuck
Might be an
up.
abortion.
Yeah. But when is it not? So I guess...
Like, is it possible to have negative views?
Seriously, dude. Hopefully everybody enjoyed our Ghost Week podcast. That was pretty fun. So let's just get to it.
All right.
I guess. What do you have for Nerd News?
Nerd News. Okay. For this week.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Okay. Okay. Nerd News is they're making a prequel to John Wick now.
Ah. What's it called?
Which I guess they're already working on a sequel, a TV series, and now a prequel. And it's going to be centered around like the Continental Hotel or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But
I thought that's what the series was.
I did
based
too.
On too. What the hell?
But the big news is Mel Gibson is going to be the lead somehow.
So it'll maybe be like John Wick's dad.
I don't know.
John Wick Sr.
Yeah, I mean he's one person who hasn't yet been canceled somehow, so he's still like cranking out tons of work.
Who?
Mel Gibson.
Oh. Well, he can't. He's canceled himself many times.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
I don't know. Like, growing up in the 90s, he was like probably one of the top 5 like biggest actors, and like he's still one of my favorite actors.
I mean, he's definitely. I would say he was top. He's probably still one of the top like action stars, at least that he was back in the day. It was like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold were always like jockeying for number 1, and then there was like Van Damme was up there, and,
Bruce Willis for a little while.
Yeah, Mel Gibson, and like for like 1 or 2 movies they had what's his face was in there, Steven Seagal. But then he started doing a lot of like direct-to-video movies. But yeah, I mean those guys were all legit. It sucks like the kind of stuff that like there for a while he hadn't really been doing anything. That's why you turn off your fucking notification on here, folks.
So
unprofessional. Good God.
Out of here.
fucking shit.
Mama.
You're like, I should bury you in the rose garden. And I'm capable of it. Speaking of Mel Gibson.
More to come on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my news.
Yeah?
Should be interesting. I mean, it's, like, the John Wick series, like, started out great.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, John Wick 2 and 3 are fine, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's been diminishing returns slightly.
I don't think I've ever seen an action movie that didn't have diminishing returns, honestly. Or just movies in general. A lot of times, I mean, we're talking about a couple weeks ago. We were talking about Creature Walks Among Us, where like the first one was like awesome, then the second one was literally just a copy paste, and the third one did something different, but it was like, what the fuck is this movie? So yeah, I don't think many people out there can say that unless it's like a story arc, like Star Wars, like the originals. Like, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up that quality. What the fuck is that sound? Do you hear the fucking loons?
I think I might have heard a Blair Witch.
I'm hearing some fucking creatures of the night. Yeah. So,
what the hell was that?
Oh, that sound is so weightlessness.
It's so intoxicating. It's giving me the dry boke.
The sound. That video where fucking he comes and he's like, Mr. Bezos, thank you so much for fucking, and he's like, I don't give a fuck, and then he sprays like champagne everywhere, and he's like,
dude, Tim was goofing on that on his show this week. It was so funny. Like, they were dying because William Shatner was just like he can't handle what's happening. Yeah. And everyone else is just acting like a fool.
Yeah, it's so obvious once that happens that like he was used by Bezos hardcore to like promote his fucking shit. Is like, okay.
Like, everyone's just partying. Yeah. Shatner's just like,
yeah,
like, you can't believe what just happened.
He's like, we just went into space. This was fucking like mind blowing, and everybody else is like, fuck you, bitch. They're like, YOLO.
Woo, hashtag spring break. Yeah. Woo!
Hashtag Star Trek. Everyone's like, okay. Or he was just like cool. Everybody else was like,
what's your nerd news?
Actually, I don't know. I had a couple like downer ones at first.
Oh, great.
But I don't know. I feel kind of obliged to say something about them, but it'll be like a quick little thing. But like one of them, I guess, I don't know if you heard about those people that got, like that one lady that got killed on the set. And it's
Alec
like,
Baldwin
dude,
blew
this
her away.
fucking just happened, like with Brandon Lee, like years ago. Like, how the fuck is this able to even happen?
Well, it's even worse this time because like with Brandon Lee, it was truly like a freak thing where like a bullet fragment was lodged in the gun somehow.
Right, but they're like still using real guns on set.
This was just like a loaded gun.
Yeah, it's like, and it's like somebody else got injured. It's like, what the?
Did you hear that? Dude? Like that had already happened 2 or 3 times before, and people were complaining about it. Like,
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
no.
like there were 2 other times where a live bullet was fired, and no one was shot, obviously, but they were like, "Holy crap, something's going wrong." So like, some criminal negligence going on.
Yeah, this is like one of those things where like the Brandon Lee incident, as fucked up as it was, it was truly like a bunch of horrible circumstances that led to that. So they couldn't really place the blame on any one person. But this one, it's like people are gonna should be put to jail for it.
Put him to death.
I was gonna say, I said put him to jail.
Put that man to jail.
And another sad day is, another sad day, another sad thing that was not an accident, but remember when we went and saw that Dragon Ball Z movie and they were asking all those people, like the voice actor for Frieza, like, died.
Oh, really?
2 days ago or whatever.
Damn.
He had, like, COPD.
Is he the guy that was sick that one time we went to the show?
No, that's, Goku.
Oh, okay.
But like he had like a bunch of like surgeries for his lungs and stuff like that, and I guess it just kind of like he was gonna have some more, but it just didn't. So sadly, like Christopher Ayers, I think was his name, but he passed away just like a couple days ago. But I just felt I had to say something about that because one of the things was like we literally just did The Crow like a couple months ago, and the other one was like a pretty big deal, at least to me, like in my life.
This is the spookiest episode.
Hey, I don't know what the fuck is going on back there.
Sounded like a cryptid.
Connect the dots and go on our website to find out more at buddyshots.com.
This is our final video.
Yeah.
So find out how we were murdered.
Yeah.
After this.
Hopefully we will be back for Halloween week. The other pieces of news.
You think that was a squatch?
If so, it's hiding behind like one of those tiny slender trees. It'll be like a little fucking skelly squatch.
Mini squatch.
Yeah. It'll be like, but I guess they just released, and of course this is already sold out because I went on once I found out about it. It was too late, but they were doing a pack of like each turtle had a corresponding like Cobra Kai like figure with it, and like I was like, I want to get these other ones, but I really want to get the one with Kreese. All of them are sold out already. And it's like the same thing with the George Lucas thing, where it's like people that are like just selling them
on eBay and buy it for $200.
Fucking bullshit, man.
That's cool though.
Yeah, and then apparently I don't know if you saw that thing with Sylvester Stallone, where he was like from the set of Expendables, like, this is my last day and I'm completely done with the Expendables. I'm passing it on to Jason Statham, and like I guess he was like, I've been working on this for 12 years now, and I'm like, yeah, not really. Like. But like I guess he was like, talking about how like he's ready for the next step in his career, aka he'll be back in like 5 years. He's like Ric Flair. It's like he retires and then he's like, actually I'll be back.
I mean, he's getting up there, but
yeah,
I'd be fine if he like moved on to more dramatic roles. But I mean, he got nominated for an Oscar just a few years ago.
Yeah,
so he's still got plenty of gas left in the tank.
Right, and I mean, you look at fucking Clint Eastwood. He's like directing and writing and starring in films still, and it's like he's like 90 something. It's like, okay. And Mel Brooks just said that they're making History of the World Part 2 that's coming to like Hulu. It's a series.
Nice.
And I guess he's like producing and writing a bunch of that, so it's like, dude, that guy's fucking 90 something as well, so it's like I'm sure he'll have a cameo on there at some point, but it's like, you know what I mean, like I think as long as like people it's also like Clint Eastwood's smart. It's like, I don't know, no bashing Harrison Ford, but like in the new Star Wars.
You mean Drummer from Expendables 3?
Drummer in the house. But like he wanted to keep going with like being the action guy and like Indiana Jones and in Star Wars, and it's like, dude, it's okay to like take a back seat in Star Wars and be like the retired, like seasoned, like general that could like pass down your knowledge, you know what I mean, to younger people. But instead he's like, I'm gonna fucking be on the front line shooting people with this blaster and stuff. It's like,
and whipping around.
Right. Carrie Fisher was smart. She was like, I'll just be the fucking like general.
I thought you were gonna say she was smart. She died before she could see how bad the sequel trilogy turned out.
No, I'm pretty sure she knew how bad it was. She was just, I mean, if somebody comes to you and they're like, here's some money, like Disney, I'd be like, that's why we gotta start the Buddy Boys extended universe. The
BBCU.
The BBCU. Oh,
actually, man. It would be BSCU, which is more appropriate.
Yeah. BSCU.
That's what it is. What was that?
We're gonna be killed tonight. By an animal. Actually, animals don't kill. Or do they?
No animal has ever killed.
Okay. We're on to Recommendation
Nation.
BBCU.
BSCU.
What were you thinking with BBCU?
Buddy Boy.
Not get into it.
Buddy Boy.
Oh, okay. You weren't thinking the British Broadcasting Company universe?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you recommend? Okay.
So my recommendation, Nation, this week is a YouTube video. What?
No, go ahead.
We've recommended...
I did not say anything. What?
So, it's the Mel Gibson taped rant.
So that's what you meant when you said later on?
But seriously, so this is a series of recordings that his wife at the time made of him and, like, basically screaming at her. And it's crazy that it's just online and, like, everyone can listen to it because it's like... he's having total meltdowns. And it's truly some of the, like, the most dramatic things I've ever heard in my life. Like...
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be his wife. That was fucking...
It's the performance of a lifetime. Like, of anything he's done. Like, that's the best.
Yeah.
Because it's real. What do you think? I'm kind of...
I don't really know what to say, since it, like, pretty much outs him as a fucking straight-up racist, but...
Yeah.
I'm
fascinated by, you know, stuff like
people
that.
People that, like, kind of, yeah,
hear, like...
their true feelings and
yeah,
stuff.
And, like, one of their most, like, dramatic moments of their life. And you can hear it happening in real time.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up because it's like it's not just like the racism and like all this other stuff. He's like threatens to kill her, so it's like
I mean, I think it's about 30 minutes long, and it's literally like he's just like freaking out the whole time. He's like screaming and
yeah, it's like essentially
like
for no reason.
Raving,
she just like
a raving madman.
Yeah, it's like small little things here and there, and it's like the kind of stuff you hear about like on ID television. Where, like, you know, the lady didn't get away from her husband and he, like, killed her. Like, that's the kind of shit that, like, would probably be said to somebody before they get killed. It's like, Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
I think at the time...
I'm not passing judgment on any of it. I am fascinated to hear it.
He's not passing judgment.
No.
He's fascinated to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that you're a fan?
Of that video?
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be appropriate to say. I've listened to it multiple times.
Yeah, we've all listened to it because I think we were like... It's kind of like when it came out that like Hulk Hogan said all that shit about like black people and other stuff. It was like, dude, this is somebody I kind of like looked up to. Like, what the fuck? You're like hearing them like self-destruct before your very ears.
Right, exactly.
Oh, Trav said that you're a Dapper Dan man. God damn it.
I don't want... Fuck. God damn it. I'm a Dapper Dan man.
Well, I will not recommend anything from Mel Gibson right now.
All right.
Not just for...
Maybe next week.
Maybe. Actually,
Mel Week.
Mel Week. I would recommend you watch, like, the Lethal Weapon movies. But, yeah. Going along with Vampire Week, which I've been trying to keep it like within the week for the recommendations. Couldn't really find any like vampiric news, but I don't know. Have you ever seen Vampire Hunter D back in the day? I feel like it was kind of a. I feel like it was kind of like a big. It's going to be a long 2 hours or so.
Seriously,
yeah.
Like skittering through the woods.
There's a fucking thing coming for it. But back in the day, I feel like it was kind of a big deal, like Ghost in the Shell and other stuff. But essentially, I'm just gonna read kind of like what it's about here to let people kind of like get a feeling for this. There's a bunch of books out. There's like like a couple games. They've done a couple movies and stuff like that, and I'm sure there's a series or so. But Vampire Hunter D is about, like, a character named D. I don't think you ever find out what his real name is. That's just kind of, like, his code name. But it takes place...
Doug.
Vampire Hunter Doug Week. He wondered... You fucking ruined this. Did you fucking ruin it, Mini-Me?
That's what I did.
Through a far future post-nuclear war Earth that combines elements of pulp genres, Western, science fiction, horror, Lovecraftian horror, dark fantasy, folklore, and occult science. And essentially takes place kind of like after a huge nuclear war with like vampires and demons, mutants, and all kinds of like technological creations that like the nobles, like the vampires, created. So it's really interesting. It's kind of like what if, like, vampires were, like, far into the future after nuclear war, and, like, they're trying to kind of, like, the Earth is kind of reclaiming everything, and it's kind of going back to, like, more nature and stuff. So, like, a vampire movie mixed with, like, that one show, like, Life After Humans and stuff like that. So
that sounds awesome. I remember you had something on DVD back in the day that I think I watched a few minutes of, and I was like, that looks really cool.
Yeah, that was also back when, like, they did, like, hand-drawn animation.
Yeah.
Until, like, they started using, like, mainly, like, CG. There's a couple people that still do hand-drawn. Like, I think, like, the Miyazaki films generally do hand-drawn, but they've done a couple that have been CG. It's just, like, I think it's a lot. See, I don't know if it's easier, but it's, I don't know. Artistic talent is something that, like, you either have to, like, be born with, or you have to spend a lot of time getting, whereas, like, if somebody makes a model on a computer, you can kind of just, anybody that has the skills to, like, fuck with the model, like, program can kind of mess with it. So, not saying it doesn't take talent to, like, use a computer and, like, do CG stuff, but I think it's like the training and, like, artistic talent probably has to be lower, I would assume. Once the artist makes the initial model, then you can have people that, like, not necessarily having artist or forte, like, move in the spots they need to. But
yeah,
I'm like, so if you're a CG artist and you think I'm wrong, sound off in the comments. Roast me alive.
You have no value.
Yeah,
you heard it here first.
I'm sorry, but you just got fucking roasted. Actually, that's the first time looking at our set back there. We got some good stuff going on. We got the fucking tombstones. The Buddy Boys still haven't been fucking buried.
Yeah. Or did they climb out of their graves?
That's what that sound was. Nope. I don't know what the fuck that was.
Sounded like a banshee.
These are not sounds I'm adding in later. I swear. This is all live. So we actually have 2 weekly topics this week, of course, for Vampire Week, as we have done every month, or every month. Damn, dude, every week. And then we're gonna be doing it next week, and that'll be the end for a while. So
enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, because then we're going back to one movie a week.
Yeah, you're gonna take it and like it.
Yeah. Damn. Mel Gibson
Just saying.
So our 2 movies this week were From Dusk Till Dawn, which you nominated, which this is like a movie I've seen like a billion times.
Yeah.
And Nosferatu In Venice, which I've never even heard of until we went to a convention. You bought the last copy, and then like I went to a like Horror Hound, and I bought a bunch of like Blu-rays, and I was like under the assumption that it was actually like good because you had just bought it. And I remember when we were there, you were like, "Dude, I've been looking for this shit everywhere. They didn't ship me my copy." And so then like the people were like,
just came out first time ever released.
From Severn was like, "Oh yeah, we've got it right here, last copy." So you bought it, and then like I was like, "Dude, I gotta fucking get this shit." So I got it, and I was like, "Okay, well for Vampire Week, what are you nominating?" And you're like, From Dusk Till Dawn. I was like, "Okay, well then I'll do Nosferatu In Venice." And I like posted it up, and you were like, "I don't know."
You sure about that?
Yeah, and I was just like, "Well, I already posted it, so."
So you're saying it's my fault?
No, I'm saying.
That's okay.
What I'm saying is, I don't think either one of us knew exactly what we were getting into until we watched this film.
Yeah. Let me try to defend myself, because let me tell you why.
Why don't you try to defend yourself for once?
So the original Nosferatu from the 20s.
Yes,
a classic.
Right.
One of my favorites.
And then they did a new one,
the remake with Klaus Kinski
and like
Werner Herzog
directed that, which was
probably even better. Like, I love that movie. So, and I didn't even know there was a sequel to it until like they announced they were going to release this, and I was like, oh man, it's going to be great.
Yeah,
I gotta see this.
Nosferatu In Venice. There's no way it can be bad.
And then, well, the rest is history.
So, what do we want to do here first? Do we want to talk about From Dusk Till Dawn, or do we want to talk about Nosferatu in Venice?
Let's get that one out of the way.
Which one?
Nosferatu.
Oh, God. That one's probably going to be the longest, honestly.
Well, let's get into it.
Okay.
So what'd you think?
So I don't really know, because this movie honestly had like a lot of like stuff that I feel like could have gone right with it.
Yeah.
And it could have been a really good film.
Possibly.
But that's like anything. I mean, it's bad. Like, you have all these people that say, oh, it could have been great, and we had all this lined up and stuff. Because you told me to watch, like, the extra features, and I did, specifically just for the fact that, like, you know, this
crazy,
cape is
crazy
smaller
stuff.
than fuck, dude. Look how small this. Well, maybe it's not small. Maybe I'm just a fat fuck. This is another, like, 2-cent cape. Prop. This looks like shit.
You look like the Count.
Yeah, right.
You look just like Klaus Kinski.
I'm the whole fucking number system. Over here. I look just like, Klaus Kinski. He was like, I'm not wearing a fucking cape, I'm just wearing my own clothes.
And I'm not going to shave my head.
Yeah. I honestly thought that was a wig. That was one of my notes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's some crazy
But
hair.
it's his damn hair.
So,
I didn't like hate this film, but at the same time,
I didn't hate it either.
Like, it was just, I don't know. There's
I
like
can't believe that
10 minutes of vampirism in this movie.
Well, this is not even a movie.
Yeah.
It's like a weird music video that lasts for like way too long, and it's basically just Klaus Kinski wandering around the streets for like the whole movie.
Right. That was actually one of the deleted things that they talked about in the. Did you watch everything in the documentary? And they talked about like how he essentially just wanted to go out and film whatever, so he walked into like 300 different areas with 300 different shots, and it was like all of it was worthless footage.
But that's the whole
But they
movie, is
ended
him
up
just like
using-
wandering around, and I'm just like,
There was actually a part where that like there are multiple parts that didn't make any sense, but specifically there was a part where they're in Carnival, and like all these people were like looking at the gondola, and essentially I guess they're supposed to be looking at like fucking Klaus Kinski as like the vampire, but originally they shot him as like they shot a body double, I guess, like as like Nosferatu, like how he originally was. But since they couldn't use any of that footage, and they never, I guess, shot anything with Klaus Kinski there, they just literally, it's people looking at the camera like oh shit, what is that coming? And you never. It's literally just like 20 minutes of people like reacting to a first person shot from the camera of like straight up dog shit. That's a lot of the movie. There's actually, if they cut a lot of that out, this movie would probably be like 20 minutes long.
I know, there's nothing to it, man.
Because there's like Donald Pleasence, Christopher Plummer, like all those, like it's shocking that those people are in it because they're fucking great. But like, essentially there's just like a couple of scenes where like they talk about the vampire, and there's like confrontations and then like stuff that happened in the past, and then they just stitch it together with a bunch of weird like footage, like they like there's multiple shots of carriages with fucking horses like riding, and he's like, it's like superimposed over something that's happening today, and it's just like it's a shit show.
But with all that, like, I think a lot of it is just cool looking in general.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, they have a lot of really good shots in the film.
Yeah, so I mean, and the score was sweet too, because there was lots of like synthesizer and stuff. So if you like could turn down the dialogue and just like put this on in the background with the score, it'd be like a cool music video.
Yeah, if you put this on and like everybody's getting high, you'd probably be okay. Yeah. But this film is actually called Vampire in Venice, which is more apropos, kind of. Italian Nosferatu in Venezia, also known as Prince of the Night and Nosferatu in Venice, was filmed in 1988. It's an Italian supernatural horror film directed by Augusto Caminito and an uncredited Klaus Kinski, of course. And starring Kinski, Christopher Plummer, Donald Pleasence, Barbara De Rossi. The story follows Professor Paris Catalano, who travels to Venice to follow the trail of the last known appearance of Nosferatu, who was seen at Carnival in 1786. Catalano learns through a séance that the vampire is seeking eternal death. I'm like, and tries to put an end to its existence once and for all.
Yeah.
So I looked up that beginning part before I wrote my notes, because my first note is Vampires in Venice is one of these films where the title says something completely different than the box. Because it says Nosferatu in Venice, and then when you start up the movie it says Vampires in Venice, and I'm like...
Yeah, so many of those like foreign films will have like a million different titles, and
right,
you know, even different companies will change their names to different things. Like, this is just a total botch job.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, at first I thought that, like, it was dubbed. And I said, no, it's not dubbed. It just sounds weird. But then there is parts of this movie where there is dubbed.
It's all dubbed. I think, like, literally every Italian movie is, like, they never use the actual sound. They're all dubbed.
There's no way that it could have been dubbed with fucking Donald Pleasence. All of his shit's, like, perfect.
Really?
Yeah. And even Christopher Plummer, most of his stuff, I mean, like, they actually speak English. I could see if, like, the people, like, that weren't English speakers were dubbed. But, like, I think there are times when they do ADR in this that it's really bad, though. Like, because I have a note here, but I don't know where it is. We'll get to it, but, like, we already talked about the music, how legit that it is.
Yeah. That's probably the highlight of the movie for me, is the score and just, like, the look of it.
I mean, they had some really interesting stuff with them, like, going into the crypts, but, like, they never really do much with that. And
that's the coolest part of the first Nosferatu with Klaus Kinski, is, like, the opening title sequence. They went into, like, some gothic, like, cathedral where they had actual mummies.
Right.
And it's just, like, close-ups of all these, like, mummified corpses, and it's like...
Right. Christopher Plummer is giving a narration.
I like
that's something that I guess that they kind of do. They don't really do it again, though, from what I remember. I had a note that says, I don't think this will be the only time that it happens, but I never wrote a note about doing it again, so I guess maybe it was just a one-time thing.
I like the stories they told about, like, Christopher Plummer behind the scenes, because, like, when he first got there, he was, like, super prepared and, like, trying really hard, but then he realized, like, this is a total disaster, and then he was just kind of, like, amused.
Yeah, I actually have, like, I actually wrote, I guess we could kind of get into that bullshit now, but, like, I actually wrote down line for line. There we go. So on to the two big actors besides Kinski, Donald Pleasence and Christopher Plummer in the documentary. This is literally what they said about it. Not them specifically, but, like, the guy talking about it. Every time Kinski was walking onto set, we would hear him screaming from the canal, then the stairs, and finally when he arrived on set. There was always a lot of confusion, but the funny thing about Pleasant was he couldn't care less. The set was like a mess. Kinski argued with everybody, from the still photographer to the camera guy to the cinematographer, but Pleasance was always sitting on the couch reading a book, waiting to be called to shoot. He couldn't care less. Donald, are you ready? Ready. He came to the set. He shot his scene and then went back to the sofa and read his book. He was completely indifferent to the chaos on the set. Plummer had a different attitude. At first, he put a lot of effort into the movie since he's a huge professional. His first scenes for the ones like of the duel against Kinski, when Plummer shoots, which is, like, not correct. It's like the other guy that shoots, not like Plummer. I'm like, actually, and puts a hole in Kinski's stomach. I guess the guy said he directly worked on that scene. The surreal thing was that when we did rehearsal for that scene, Plummer started saying his lines in front of Kinski. Kinski looked at him in an indifferent way, because, as I said, he didn't want to rehearse. Without saying anything, he took his mirror from his pocket, the one he used every day to check his makeup, took a comb and started combing his hair while Plummer was saying his lines in front of him, and then he answered him while he was still combing his hair with an indifferent look. Plummer was flabbergasted, and then he burst into laughter. From that moment on, he treated the set as a joke. He no longer cared. One day I asked him, how's it to act with Kinski? He said, well, they're paying me so much money that I don't care. Talking here, I can quote Kinski. I asked him, what do you think of Christopher Plummer? Is he a good actor? Kinski said, he's a great actor, but he doesn't know it.
So if you're not familiar with Klaus Kinski, like, Google him. You'll probably recognize his face because he's, like, been in a ton of movies, but he's, like, one of the biggest lunatics in the history of, like, movies.
Essentially, he, like, had a fucking, like death fucking, like, he had like he wanted to kill all directors. He like hated to be told like how to like act. So for anybody just to say cut, he would just like go nuts or like do it like this. He would just, he just hated everybody, like actor-wise, or not actor-wise, but director-wise.
And he would fly into a rage at like the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
Like a total maniac.
Yeah.
Like a loose cannon.
Yeah.
But it was interesting, like, because that story they told, like, towards the end of his life when he befriended that, like, that postal worker.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, from their perspective, he was the nicest person they ever met because they only saw him, like, the good side of him.
There's, like, a couple people that, like, say that, like, they never had issues with him.
Yeah.
Like, the specific, like, camera crew people that, like, followed him around and stuff. He's like, oh, yeah, he loved us.
Yeah.
And, like, but, like, anybody that was, like, a director he hated for the most part. I think, like, he liked one director out of all these people they were talking about, and like everybody else. But it was essentially they let him do whatever the fuck he wanted, so that's why he like loved him. But like that one movie where they were talking about how he was like, okay, now we have to get shots from the other side, and he's like, I don't want to sit down anymore, I want to walk, and he's like, we can't do that. And he's just like, they're like, well, fuck, what are we gonna do? He's like, how about you be a ghost? And he's like, you're a fucking genius. Now I can do whatever the fuck I want. But
unbelievable.
But essentially, like, that made, like, the other actor, like, his nephew, like, life hell because he wouldn't ever talk to him. He's like, ghosts don't talk to fucking people, even though he was talking to him the whole time in the movie. It was ridiculous. But he's known for, like you said, Nosferatu the Vampire, like Count Dracula with Werner Herzog.
Mm-hmm.
Aguri, the Wrath of God, and he was in a bunch of other movies, but he's just kind of like you said, I
think that's what's interesting about him is like he could be like totally like charming at times, but like also a horrific monster.
Yeah, because like the one girl at the end of the movie that like he like has sex with that like is 18, but like everybody says at the time she was probably like underage. Like he actually like ended up having a relationship with her for like 3 or 4 years. Like in that documentary, she was like, oh, he was wonderful and stuff, and I'm like, that's the thing, it's so weird, is like certain people were like, he was awesome to me and stuff, and like all the directors were like, fuck him, he's a piece of shit. Like, yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah. There's a good documentary about him called My Best Fiend.
Yeah.
Which is about like him and Werner Herzog because they made 5 movies together.
Right.
But like they hated each other at times and like loved each other at times. And like there's stories that like when they were out in the jungle, Werner Herzog was going to pay like this tribe of Indians to kill Kinski like in the jungle, and like there's a legend that he had to direct one of his scenes with a gun pointed to him. Like crazy stuff.
Oh, so, man.
My Best Fiend, highly recommended.
Yeah. But like some of the stuff, I guess, is like this film was actually supposed to be like a sequel of sorts to that movie we were just talking about, like Nosferatu, the Vampire, with those two, Werner Herzog and Klaus Kinski. But like, and they had like they had like hours of shots of the Carnival, like that they had to film in like February, January. They did a bunch of stuff like I said, the body double. And then, like, when he got to set, he was like, I don't want to wear the fucking makeup again. That was hell. I'm just going to wear my regular clothes and, like...
my huge mane of hair.
Yeah, my hair and my face how it is, and then, like, just wear, like, this froppish costume. Dude, some of the stuff he said in this film is, like... Or not he said, but some of the stuff that was said about him as far as, like, things that he, like, complained about. That he, like, when the gypsies, or I guess... That's not really a PC term, but I guess that's what they said, that like he said I guess they had these professional dancers for that scene, and he was like, gypsies should be played by real gypsies. And then like they couldn't find any that could dance, so he saw like this random people on set or like on TV, and he's like, I want those people, and they had to like hire them, which like everybody says that's what happened, but like I don't know if you noticed in the documentary, there's that one dude with the glasses on that's like seemed like his like close friend that was like a director or something, that like always was like, oh, it wasn't that bad, it was, like he's like, even that like people were like, oh, he molested me and he did this and he did that, like and like, oh, it wasn't that bad. I'm like, I think this guy is just like kissing this guy's ass because everybody else says it was one way, and he's
right. This is yet again another example of where the making of the movie is so much more interesting than the actual movie itself. Like, this is insane.
Cape is killing my fucking shit. I'm trying to think here. Going through there's a part where like he go. I think it's Christopher Plummer. Somebody goes into a library and it looks like they fucking never seen a library before in this film. They're like. That could have also been Kinski, because there's a lot of times when he's acting, he looks like he has no fucking clue where he is.
He's like William Shatner after he landed from
space. He's like sucking someone's blood as no description. And I'm like, what?
This bloodlessness.
There's no weightlessness. It's like, what? They keep showing a random girl. I don't think she's actually in the room with him. I don't know. I expected. Oh yeah, Christopher Plummer's like says he's gonna like die quite soon. They never really explain if he has a disease, but at the end of this fucking movie, he just like essentially kills himself. Maybe.
If you asked me to describe like the plot of this movie, I don't think I could do it. It makes no sense. It's just Klaus Kinski wandering around.
It's essentially Christopher Plummer's character wants to come and find out, like... So at first I thought he was coming to help him, like, find death. Like, he's like, I want to find Nosferatu, and I believe his ultimate goal is to, like, die. Because he's been around for so long. It even shows that, like... And there's kind of... They're building up to that. But when they get to the end of the movie... I was like,
jump scare.
Yeah. But when they get to the end of the movie, Klaus Kinski like fights back against all these people that are trying to kill him, and then when he gets like turned into immortal, he doesn't die, but the other girl dies, and like kind of, I don't know. The end of this movie is literally he's walking off with this girl. Mm-hmm. In his arms through the mist in Venice, and that's the end. It's like they had nothing shot because I'm sure Kinski was such a pain in the ass to work with that like literally they had nothing, and it was like this is like you said, this is like a non-movie in the best sense of a word, because it starts off with actually some interesting things to a degree, like with like Christopher Plummer wanting to like, but then they once they get to Kinski, it's like they abandon that, and it's like off the rails. He just walks around and does a bunch of bullshit for like an hour, and then the movie's over. It's pretty shit, honestly.
Here's my impression of this movie.
Yeah. Let me see if he's in shot. Yeah. Dude, it takes so fucking long. He's like walking through the back like of everything, and it's like, oh my god, dude, this is fucking that shit. Actually, I had the movie on like fast forward a lot of times through those scenes, because
probably didn't miss
like,
too much.
Literally, it's just that, but in fast forward, it's so bad. It's like, how the fuck can this be a movie? And then the answer is, it's not. I don't know.
So Donald Pleasence is in this movie.
Yeah.
Which, he's always great. I think, like, he's one of our favorite actors.
Yeah, Donald Pleasence is in there. I mean, both him and Christopher Plummer are awesome. It's just they're wasted because essentially, like, they don't get to conclude or really do anything with their performance other than, like, they build up to something that, like, just essentially never happens.
Yeah, they're both barely in this.
Yeah. Abbott Hayes was in it. Actually, that would be legit.
Abbott Hayes, no!
People would be able to see Abbott Hayes from, like, 50 yards away and know exactly who he was, even though he's dead, and fucking be like, it's Abbott Hayes. Holy shit!
Nosferatu, no!
I'm like, the fucking windshield's cracked. The lights are gonna be shining up into my shit. I'm sorry, I gotta fix next week. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're gonna have to watch that film and talk about it. That film's a billion times better than this film. Not competent, but it's funnier and more entertaining.
Yeah.
They both about have the same, like, what the fuck is going on? But, this one's just boring in time.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I love the way it looks, though. Like
yeah.
you said, I love the way it looks. I like the music.
Yeah.
And if, like, honestly, Kinski wasn't in this film, this movie would probably be 100 times better.
Well,
like, I love that he's in it, and I like as far as the way he looks.
Yeah, his presence is, like, awesome. But
like,
he
obviously
adds
nothing to it. Yeah, it's like he has, like, no, like, story to it.
In the first Nosferatu, he's great because, like, he's more, like, pathetic.
Yeah.
As Dracula or Nosferatu, as opposed to, like, powerful. And he's more
in
like...
this one, he's fucking invincible. There's
he's just like a god.
Yeah. There's parts where, like, these 3 priests or whatever, like, try to, like... And it's also shown in this that, like, vampire, like, Nosferatu isn't, like, he did, like, holy symbols and all that kind of stuff doesn't do anything to, like, vampires. So, like, they try to, like, exorcise him or whatever, and he just looks at them, and they... like, fly out a window. Like, just his look is so powerful.
That was cool. That was a cool scene.
See, it's stuff like that is fine, but it's just, like the Carnival, like, people just walking around forever, like, that kind of stuff that's boring. If they cut all that out and just added more scenes of, like, there was a part where, like, Christopher Plummer talks about, like, silver, or, like, mercury, the purest of metals, could, like, kill... Nothing's ever done with that.
Yeah.
Ever. Like... And when he goes to confront him, like, all he does is hold up an iron cross, and, like, it's like, don't you already know that doesn't do anything? Like, you read the accounts before of those priests, so it's like...
Yeah, I think if you're the kind of person that likes, like, atmosphere and, like, cool visuals and music, this movie is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But if you like story and characters, like, you'll hate this movie. Like, there's just nothing there.
Yeah. There is a really... I mean, there are multiple weird parts in this movie. One of the weirdest parts I found out was, like... So, like... There's this, like, old lady that, like, beats the shit out of, this, like, younger guy with a cane. But it turns out to be, like... She's his boyfriend. And then she unmasked to be, like, herself. But she had, like, a super convincing, like, prosthetic mask of her grandma on. That was, like, the most fucked up thing in this whole movie, because I was like...
It came out of nowhere.
What? And it was also, like, very, like... How? Like... I don't know,
They had
man.
Mission Impossible technology to
Yeah,
create,
it was, like, super realistic, and then she was like... Ha ha! It's me!
It's me, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, and I was like... Huh? They released the fucking movie with this Tom Cruise's yell, like they did the Mummy. Oh! Oh! It's like no music or anything. It's like, hey.
Hashtag Dark Universe.
Yeah.
DU.
DU.
MB.
MD. The Master of Unlocking. Also, they had, like, a tomb that was cool, but once they, like, undo it, it was like his last, like, last lady, he, like, turned into a vampire, and then once they open the tomb, she, like, instantly dies. I was like, if she was a vampire, why would she just turn into dust? They, like, hermetically unsealed her, and her body was like... And they were like, holy shit, how could this happen? And I'm like, you just explained it. I'm just trying to see if there's really anything noteworthy.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know what else to say, because it's like, there's just not much meat on the bone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is where I talk about he looks like Sandman from ECW, but it's just his hair. I thought it was a wig. He looks like, also, like, his teeth are fucking, like, beaver style. They're, like, both of his blood-sucking teeth are in the front. Like, right here.
That's the thing that creeped me out about Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, it's like rat teeth.
Yeah. He's like... Holy shit, this priest is out of control. He's, like, peeking the fucking mic, and this is, when they're doing the thing. He's like, yeah! Yeah! And I was like, dude, chill the fuck out.
Caught me peeking.
I love Donald Pleasence. He's drinking up all the wine and eating all the bread and cheese in this movie, and I feel like that was, like, obviously part of, like, what he was doing, but I'm pretty sure that, like, he was just doing that because he was like, fuck it, because...
That's the thing I've noticed with him is, like, he's He does that a lot in movies.
Yeah.
Like, he's always eating or, like, drinking a ton.
Probably because he's just, like... I don't know. Like, I love Donald Pleasence. I feel like he is professional and stuff. Like, he did all of his stuff, and there's never anything you hear from people like he was a fucking asshole. But, like... Yeah, like, that happens in a lot of films.
You're the Duke! You're the Duke!
He was drinking.
And number one!
Piss. So, I actually have a list here of, like, how people can become a vampire, like, with Christopher Plummer saying this. Because this lady's like, how does somebody become a vampire? And, this was, like, all new to me. So, by being an illegitimate sons of illegitimate parents... I don't really know what that means. Like, illegitimate parents?
That automatically makes you a vampire?
That's what it said, but, like, I don't understand how you could be an illegitimate parent. If you had sex and you had a child, that would make you a parent. What does that mean? Like, maybe out of wedlock?
Not legitimate.
It's... So you're saying...
Yeah, you got me on that one.
The son of witches and warlocks, the man who takes his own life... These sound like just names for, like, a wrestler. Coming to the ring, the man who takes his own life.
He was an illegitimate son of illegitimate parents from parts unknown.
Those who die by hanging.
Out of a Punjabi prison.
Those who die of the plague. Those who die with blasphemy on their lips. Murderers who die unpunished. The descendants of vampires. I'm like...
That one makes sense.
Yeah, no shit. He's like, anyone that doesn't like me. I'm like, okay, now you're just bullshitting.
Yeah.
The priest must leave. So they have this séance, actually, and, like, once, like, it's over, the one lady, like, passes out, and, like, the medium does, but no one gives a fuck about her. She's just like, ugh! And everyone's just, like, rushes over to the one lady and doesn't give a fuck about the medium. It was kind of interesting how, like, the village of, like, I guess, gypsies that he, like, had were, like, he had bitten every single one of them, so they were, like, literally...
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That was cool, but, like...
I thought so, too.
It's like once...
I've never seen that in a vampire movie before,
yeah.
like, where he created an entire, like, town.
Right.
Or an entire, like, group.
It was cool, but it was, like... Once
really
you get to the end of this film, like, nothing matters.
No.
Which sucks, because this had some cool ideas, but they just... I don't know. It had
Klaus Kinski put a stop to it.
Yeah.
With his madness.
Confused-looking Nosferatu walking around for an hour. Carnival footage,
That's
everybody
pretty much
looking at something. Is it Nosferatu in Venice? Nosferatu confronts the old hag and crosses do not work, and he crushes it and throws her out the fucking window. Donald Pleasence eating again.
Yep.
They open the tomb and find out. Yeah, we talked about that. Fucking bitch. More Nosferatu walking around in the carnival bullshit. He shows up in one lady's room and rips her fucking clothes off and starts talking some nonsense, and then nastiness happens, which wasn't supposed to happen in the movie, but I guess apparently, like, he was doing some nasty shit. There's all kinds of shit people talked about on this DVD Blu-ray or whatever.
His treatment of women sounds pretty outrageous.
Right, he would, like, literally try to rape them, and, like, in some cases would somewhat succeed until somebody stepped in, and it was like, he, like, would stick his thing in people on set, and it was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, ruin people's lives. Fucking Nosferatu Michael Vick over here kicking the dogs and shit. Yeah, so there's a part where randomly he walks by these dogs and they're all going nuts and he's like kicking at the fence. That was just so random. I almost feel like that wasn't even supposed to be in the movie.
Very well could be.
Nosferatu was chasing a lady and she runs away from him hardcore and he chases after her with his hands outstretched, which was like another ridiculous part of the movie. And then he just rips her fucking clothes off. Like, I was like, was this even supposed to be in the movie?
Was that Nosferatu or was that Klaus?
Yeah, seriously. And then he was like slobbering all over her face. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. They did have a cool effect where they like blow a hole in him, like in his stomach, and then it like reforms, but like it's super obvious that it was like the shit that reformed was like sofa shit or something. It was like, yeah.
It's a questionable effect.
But, you know, the cool part, he grabs the barrel of the gun that the guy shot and, like, lifts him up into the air. Yeah, and crosses don't do anything. This part I didn't really understand, so I guess this younger girl kept wanting to get with him, but he kept, like, getting with, like, this other girl, but, like, she's gonna commit suicide, and, like, she's gonna jump off the fucking tower, and as she does, Nosferatu, fucking Klaus swoops in, like, horrible-looking Superman and saves her. It's like, he's like, if you will throw away your life, you belong to me now. And they're, like, flying through the air, and it looks so fucking horrible. It's like, oh my god. This part kind of came out of nowhere, but, like, Donald Pleasence goes absolutely crazy on Christopher Plummer, saying he's like, you know nothing! You know nothing! And I'm like, what are you talking about?
He's like, I have to freak out at least once per movie.
Oh yeah, dude. He was going ape shit.
He's like, Nosferatu's pure evil, like Michael Myers.
And everyone's like, no shit. What are you... But then again, like, they just made Christopher Plummer look like he had no motivation, because at one point he was, like, all about doing something with Nosferatu, but as soon as he, like, came face to face with him, he's like, I'm gonna kill you. And I'm like, what's going on in this fucking film? Then Christopher Plummer jumps into the water and kills himself. I think. I don't know. You really don't see him. You just see his briefcase. And he's gone.
Yeah.
He is mortal now. Because that was a cool thing where he, like, walked by a mirror and he finally sees himself in the mirror for the first time since he's become a vampire, I guess. And he was just like, I don't know, he didn't really change his fucking, the way he looked. He wasn't like, it's like, did this motherfucker act or what? Doesn't the daylight frighten you? No, the night he said, doesn't the daylight frighten you? No, the night frightens me. I'm like, you're a fucking vampire. You're Nosferatu. What the fuck are you talking about? Klaus Kinski over here having sex and doing all this stuff with his clothes completely on the whole time. So they go and find these coffins on the island and open them up one by one, and they find Nosferatu in one of them. And they drive a stake through his heart, and it actually turns into a decoy, and it was like a woman, which was, like, cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's another decoy that happens later on, like, here in a couple seconds, that I'm going to talk about that was really weird, but there's a wonderful thing where it was night, and then it's day again. It's like, how long were these fucking people here for? They just fucking blast the hell out of Nosferatu and the innocent girl. He's like, it's like, Jesus Christ, dude. So this is the part I'm talking about, where he's like, he finds the one girl, and he's like, you look so pale, what has he done to you? And I'm like, she looks exactly the same as she did, like, earlier in the fucking film. But that's not the weird part. The weird part is he goes to kiss her, and, like, he gets tricked hardcore because it turns out to be, like, fucking Klaus Kinski. He, like, fucking flips, and it's him. And he, like, kisses him and, like, bites him on the lips, and then he just dies randomly. And then the end is just, yeah, him fucking walking off. And it's like,
what did I just watch?
Yeah, this movie fucking blows dick, man. Might be time for the light. Oh, yeah, maybe I need to plug that in.
What are you talking about?
I know, right?
There's still plenty of light left. I ain't scared.
Ooh. It'll be like that one... Well, I don't want to get it as bad as that one night where we were like, I looked on the thing and you were like, eh. It was like fucking dark as shit. You're like, it's pitch black. So what's your final score for this film?
I'd give it a 3 out of 5. Just because I think we highlighted, like, there are some redeeming qualities about this movie, but, like, it's a mess. It's the best way to say it. Yeah. I'm glad I saw it. It was fun to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
definitely glad to learn about the behind-the-scenes antics.
Right.
It's crazy.
I feel like it's hard for me to, like, give this movie a 3 because...
You don't have to.
Well, the reason why is because I feel like that's, like, a middle-of-the-road score, and I feel like this film is, like... I have to, I guess, like, give it the score that it deserves based on, like, what the film is and not what I really wish it could have been. So I have to give it probably a 2 or 2.5 because if Klaus Kinski wasn't in this film, it probably would have been way better.
Yeah, he wouldn't have ruined it with his
bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man.
You have to go back and watch the first Nosferatu because it's actually a masterpiece.
Yeah, I remember that one actually being pretty good.
Yeah.
And I've also seen the one that was about the making of the original with Willem Dafoe.
The Shadow of the Vampire or whatever.
But it was just kind of this one was just Klaus Kinski wanted to just walk around for 20 years and ruin the film, and he succeeded. I don't know if he set out to ruin a film. I think he legitimately thought what he was doing was would make the film better, but
he was the true artiste, where he thought everything he was doing was
good.
Yeah.
When it was shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
Yeah, I'm going down to
because I noticed it's dusk.
Oh. It's not night. Okay. What? That.
What's a spit take?
Spittake.com. Don't go to that website. So yeah, let's move on to a much more competent movie that actually has a story to tell, a beginning, a middle, and an end, and actors in the film.
Yeah.
I guess there were actors in the last film too.
There were no actors.
I was like, where'd they go? But yeah, just like the last film, this film is pretty stylish, or stylized as far as the sets, locations, the music is good. The big difference is this film has a story.
and dialogue.
Right.
And characters.
That's legit. All this movie is dialogue.
Yeah.
For the most part. Because we were talking about From Dusk Till Dawn. I'm sure, I don't know, I'm not going to assume, but I'm assuming a lot of people out there have seen. I thought that was just a random guy. I was like, From Dusk Till Dawn.
I would hope so, but I mean, it's a
you
25-year-old movie at this point. So.
Right. It's a big piece of shit. I'm just a big piece of shit. So yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn's one of those films that I think I've seen quite a lot. We got it on DVD a long time ago, and I've seen it quite a few times.
Oh yeah.
This is the first time I've seen it probably, a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember we used to watch it a lot because it starts off very Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, heist, and all this
crime movie,
crime stuff that they've done. But yeah, quickly, about halfway through, it kind of flips to more an Evil Dead, Night of the Living Dead kind of thing.
Yep.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. I mean,
I don't know if I've ever watched a movie that combines this very stylish, especially in the way of a stylistic way of the.
I can't remember if the first time I saw it I knew
that was going to happen.
That was going. I feel like I didn't. So I was like, "Wow, I can't believe this is happening."
I can't remember. If anything, I might have, just because if we got it on DVD, they probably ruined a bunch of it on the back.
Mm-hmm. This is another one that I saw at Kyle's house for the first time because he had the DVD.
all the stolen DVDs.
Yeah. But it blew my mind. I loved it.
Yeah.
And this is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, this is a movie that was it's directed by Robert Rodriguez and written by Quentin Tarantino. So it's you can definitely feel huge influences, half and half from both of them. It's got that Quentin Tarantino dialogue and the stylistic action of Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, it's a perfect combination in my book.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll get Siskel and Ebert's review out of the way. Ebert...
There was no Venice one?
No.
Why?
Ebert gave it a thumbs up. Siskel had to give it a thumbs down.
Oh, okay.
But they both pretty much agreed
they hated it.
It's two movies, and they liked the first part better, and they thought the vampire stuff was not as good. Which I don't know if I agree with. I think without one, you couldn't have the other. Like, that's what makes it special, is you have, like, a normal, like, crime movie that turns into a vampire, like, gore fest.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where, like, that's... I actually went on to IMDb, and I, like, never look at reviews, but there are a lot of, like, pretentious assholes on there that are, like, one of, you know... Quentin Tarantino got lucky with Pulp Fiction, and ever since then, critics have been kissing his ass, and this is just another, you know, movie that he's made that was bad, and I'm like, okay.
Bad take.
Right. But, and a lot of people were like, first half was awesome, second, I'm like, the first half was great, but it was fucking, I don't know if I could watch a whole movie of that. It's like, up to that extreme, because that's the thing, is like, they pack so much of like, generally what they put over the course of an hour or two in those crime movies into like half the movie, because they know they've got to get that shit in before they get to the vampire stuff. So they have, like, you know, all kinds of stuff with like action and like killings and like a fucking rape. And, you know, just all this other stuff that they put in with Quentin Tarantino's character, that, like, that would be over the course of a whole movie, rather than, like, it's, like, way too concentrated if that was, like, the whole film.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yep, I agree. And also, in most, like, monster movies, a lot of them just have, like, generic characters that who cares about. But, like, in this movie, like, they create amazing characters, so it's, like, makes you more invested in the crazy vampire action.
Well, not only that, but it's like generally the first half of the movie is super uninteresting until they get to the monsters. Right. Whereas here, like the first half, people, like, a lot of people say, is the most interesting, and the dialogue definitely is. And then it gets into the monster part, and then that's, you know, you don't have to worry about, like you said, like, the boring shit, because there was none.
Yeah, exactly. I wish there were more movies like this where like totally, like, something comes out of left field halfway through and you're like, wait a minute.
Right. No, I agree, because it's like this. I think if anybody was upset about this, like, watching it, like, from Dusk Till Dawn for the first time and it being, like, flipped, like,
yeah,
just go watch fucking Jackie Brown for the billionth time, or fucking Pulp Fiction, and suck that movie off. Like, I don't know, like,
I guarantee there are millions of people who, like, there's nothing in the first half of this movie that makes you think you're gonna see a vampire.
Right, yeah.
So, like, the first time a vampire pops up, you're like, what? Like, I love that.
Yeah, it's very, yeah, they do a good job of, like, there's no, like,
I mean, there's a little bit of foreshadowing
in the movie, like, earlier, where it's like, you know, on the background you hear, like, reports of people, you know, like, bullshit like that. It's like, but, like, I guess we'll just I'm just gonna get into, like, some of the stuff here. Like we said, it was written by Quentin Tarantino, directed by Robert Rodriguez. It stars Harvey Keitel, George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino himself. He was actually going to direct this film, but then, like, he was like, I don't want to have to direct and write this and be in this movie. Like, he was like,
he made the right choice.
Yeah, I agree. It's hard. I mean, like, Kevin Smith does it because he generally always plays, like, a character that has no lines. He just stands there and stuff. So, and he reacts. So, that's not acting, but you know what I mean. Like, he's not giving, like, long fucking diatribes and, you know, speeches like Tarantino and Clooney and all those other characters in this film. And Juliette Lewis. The plot follows a pair of American criminal brothers, Clooney and Tarantino, the Geckos, who take a family as hostages, Keitel, Lou, and Lewis, in order to cross into Mexico, but ultimately find themselves trapped in a saloon frequented by vampires.
Can't have a much better synopsis than that. Like, sounds great. I'm in.
Speaking of which, From Dusk Till Dawn was followed by 2 direct-to-video prequels, which I've never watched either of these.
I have.
You have?
I've seen them both. And believe it or not, they're both pretty darn good.
I would be shocked if that was the case.
Dude, I'm telling you. The second one, well, Robert Patrick's the star, and it has Bruce Campbell in it. So the cast is amazing.
The From Dusk Till Dawn 2 Texas Blood Money.
Yep. And then the third one is like a prequel, so it's like...
You said both of them are prequels.
Well, yeah, so the third one is like a prequel that goes back to the Old West. So
it's
like Old West. they go back to that saloon back when it was an Old West.
I wonder if these were like on Sci-Fi Channel. I bet. From
They had
Dusk
that
Till
kind of
Dawn
quality.
3, The Hangman's Daughter. Hey, they were both received poorly by critics, but Danny Trejo is the only actor to appear in all three.
Yeah.
Although Michael Parks appears in both From Dusk Till Dawn and The Hangman's Daughter.
Well, also his character pops up in other Tarantino movies, like Sheriff McGraw or whatever.
Apparently, this is the last. Yeah. Rodriguez, Tarantino, and Lawrence Bender served as producers on all three movies. Interesting. But did you know this? On March 17th, 2014, a television series inspired by the films premiered on the El Rey network. It's actually on Netflix.
Have you seen it?
No.
I haven't either.
Produced and directed by Rodriguez. The show was intended to explore and expand on the characters and story in the film, providing a wider scope and richer Aztec mythology. The series ended production in 2016. There's actually a video game of the same name that was released for Windows in 2001. Never.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It is based on the events that transpired directly after the end of the film.
There's one more movie, because there's a full-length documentary about the making of From Dusk Till Dawn called Full Tilt Boogie, which is kind of like the behind-the-scenes stuff on Nosferatu in Venice, like crazy.
Yeah.
It's highly recommended, because you pretty much see basically George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino like behaving badly.
They're behaving badly.
They were.
Were they like low blowing people and shit?
Like, like Leon down behind him and pushing him over there,
pantsing them,
putting tacks on their chairs,
whoopee cushions all night long, brother. You were like,
but yeah, it's like politically correct culture was just not happening at those times, so it's really fascinating to watch.
There's some unpolitically correct things that are said in this film, but that's also like
part of their character.
I'm like, these bad guys are not politically correct. It's like, they killed like a shit ton of people.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the last thing they give a fuck about. Yeah, well, that's all we have to say about it.
All right.
Good movie.
We got to talk about Michael Parks.
Yeah. Go for it.
The star of Tusk.
Yes.
Just had to throw that out there.
I don't really know who that is, but
He's the Sheriff McGraw.
no, I meant like in the movie. I don't know who he is in Tusk. Is he like the old guy or something? Oh, okay.
He's the main guy. Great actor.
He's a lot better in this movie, let's just say.
I think he's great in both. But like, I love every part of this movie, but his scene at the beginning is my favorite scene in the whole movie. Like this, and Siskel and Ebert even called this out in the review. Like his little monologue he gives is like so amazing and hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That potato head.
Yeah, it's like nothing I wrote down because you can't really say anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of politically incorrect stuff, but just like the way he's like, they're gonna pay. I mean, they're gonna pay. It's like so good.
Yeah.
And one thing Kyle pointed out that I never noticed, and now I always see it, is like when he gets shot. He gets shot in the head, and like he falls down, and then he like makes his jaw move really weird.
Yeah.
It's like, "Arr!" And it's like really disturbing and like.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious, like, in this film that, like, he doesn't die right away when they shoot him in the head, and then they, well, I mean, they blow them the fuck away once they shoot him once. They're like, yeah!
You were signaling him! Like, it's just a great scene to start the movie.
Yeah, I think this is probably...
I'm gonna get tanked.
Yeah, that's so stupid. Like, the way he says that, it's like, where's it at? Those damn burritos ain't good for nothing except for a hippie when he's high on weed. I'm like, what? That doesn't make any... Like, no shit. What do you mean?
Hippie when he's high on weed.
Put me down for that bottle of that Jack. I think I'm gonna get tanked tonight. I had to put periods between certain things because it was like...
So good.
I think I'm gonna get tanked tonight. He starts drinking. He's like drinking on the job.
I've been puking up pigs in a blanket since 6:30.
I'm like, ew, who the fuck's been eating that? Yeah, I didn't really take any notes about, like, much. I mean, I did for some of this, but, like, I've seen it so many times that it's, like, as we kind of go through the movie, I feel like we'll be able to just talk about it, like...
Yeah, I love that scene. It's super funny and also intense. And then the way it ends, with like them walking away from the explosion. It's like, you know, classic old 90s cool guys, basically. What'd you think of George Clooney in this movie?
I always like George Clooney in movies. I don't know. I think some people like have shit on him and stuff, but I think they're just like, I don't know. Maybe they're just like have like chapped asses from when he was on ER. Maybe, I don't know. I never thought that like, oh, George Clooney was a bad actor. Like, I don't get where that comes from. Like when people
I've
have
never
ever said that or said that like, oh, he started his career off badly with this and that. And I'm like, I never really thought, I mean, any of that, you know.
No.
Even here you can see he's definitely like, you know, I wouldn't say carrying this movie because everybody does such a good job in it, like, but he's definitely not, he's like one of the A players in this film.
Yeah, this is my favorite movie that he's done. Like, I agree, I like him in pretty much everything, but
I think this is probably like
he goes further in this movie than like he would never do something like this now. Like,
I think a lot of people's best film is this, honestly. They're in this film. Like, I can't really think of a film that like Juliette Lewis was ever in that was better than this, and I can't really think of a movie that was better than, you know, I guess Michael Parks has been in a lot of other Quentin Tarantino movies, so I guess you could say maybe one of those you like him in more. Mm-hmm. But this is probably like the quintessential, like, you know, role for him, as far as his character goes, and like, yeah, I mean, Quentin Tarantino himself, I can't think of any other movie he's been in where he has had such a big impact as a character too.
Yeah, this is his best movie as an actor by far, I think.
Which is kind of a shame. You look at this and you're like, kind of sucks that, I mean, it's good that he did movies, but it's also like he's such a, I feel like he's actually a pretty damn good actor in this film.
Yeah, I agree.
Which I was, it's kind of shocking, but at the same time, it's like, I think people put a lot of weight into like actors and acting when like a lot of that comes down to like the writing, and the writing in this is like top notch.
Right.
It's like, when you think of people that like can write dialogue, it's like Kevin Smith and Quentin Tarantino are like the two people that you think
the
of.
masters.
You think of like, you know, they're maybe not so great with like plotting out action and other stuff, but like as far as like actual dialogue, it's like the most like interesting to listen to, and the most like interesting to like, it's just natural as well a lot of times.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Which a lot of times people try to write dialogue and it just comes off as like, especially like bad sci-fi and horror movies, you're like, dude, nobody says that. Like, fuck off. Like,
well, even like so many people just tried to emulate Tarantino and like don't have the talent or the originality, and then it's like the worst.
Well, a lot of his stuff comes from like his passion for like cult and pulp sci-fi and horror and like all that kind of stuff. Like just the stuff that he likes and liked when he was growing up. So like you can tell it comes across like, you know, in the films he makes and stuff. So it's like, I guess not really sci-fi. I meant like horror and western and like all that kind of stuff. Yeah, like I said, I mean.
So here's a funny story. Remember back when you could get like packages for your PC to like take over the look and feel of it.
Yeah.
So like you would have specialized sound effects or like picked like icons and stuff.
Yeah, like the cursor would be like a thing or something.
Well, Kyle had one for From Dusk Till Dawn for his PC. So like anytime you would do a different action, you'd hear like a different quote, and it was so good. Like when you boot up the computer, it'd be like, "Everybody be cool, you be cool."
I had something like that for from The Spy Who Loved Me on my PC, and it was so. It's like those were cool, but like now I'm like, dude, that would be so annoying to have on your PC.
We had Star Wars ones, of course.
Yeah, that's cool. Like actually, I had Star Wars wallpaper when we first moved into our second house. But when I was a kid, like I was so young, I didn't know what Star Wars was, and Chewbacca scared me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought it was like a big, like monkey
beast
monster, and so I had my parents take it down.
Really?
Yeah. And then as I got older, I was like, "Fuck," because you couldn't find Star Wars wallpaper anywhere.
Yeah, like that was worth $80,000.
Pretty much. But like
maybe that explains your fascination with cryptids, like seeing that monster Chewbacca.
I was like, But it's a Dark Knight by the Blasters.
It's a dark
The
night.
Creed DeVilles might have something to say about this.
Nice.
But yeah, this very good opening. This whole movie's great, man.
I know. It's one of the most entertaining movies like possible.
Yeah.
I can't like. I guess that's why we've seen it so many times. It's very rewatchable.
Yeah, there's like an old dude when they go to like check into the hotel.
Dude,
And,
great line. He's like, "What do you want?
What the hell do you want? What the hell do you think I want, you old bastard? I want a room." And he's like, "Okay."
You think I want, you mean old bastard? I
He
want
just
a fucking
didn't.
room.
Yeah, he just didn't expect anybody to want to be there.
Yeah, like the dialogue and the way George Clooney like talks in this movie is just
Yeah.
so hilarious.
Yeah. His tattoo is like,
Yeah,
it's kind of shit, but not like it doesn't look shit. It's just it's like a stupid tribal tattoo on the side of his fucking body. But that was kind of before like tribal tattoos were all over the place.
it was edgy in the 90s.
Now it's just stupid. Quentin Tarantino was being creepy as fuck in this film.
Maybe
From what I remember, I think he likes rape, and he does.
maybe
like
he
a-
might have limited range as an actor, but like playing a creepy like psycho is like he's great at it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing is I don't remember really seeing him in anything else that I can really think of for like as big of a role as this. So
Yeah, I think this is his biggest one. There's Destiny Turns on the Radio.
yeah,
One of the worst movies. And he's awful in it. I mean, everything about that is awful.
Well, that's the thing is like I generally don't like blame actors when like a movie is shit unless it's Klaus Kinski.
For multiple reasons.
Yeah, but it's mainly because like if they aren't given anything to work with, it's kind of like, I don't know.
We've said it many times, and we're not the first. Like, acting is usually the last thing that fails in a movie.
Yeah, right. It's failed. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's
Creepy
a cool effect like when like Tarantino's going into like a dark place or whatever. Like there's a bass rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just see his face, and it's like, you're like, this is creepy.
Yeah, because you find out that like George Clooney's character was just in jail for like a bank robbery and killing some people, but like Quentin Tarantino is in jail for like the same kind of deal, but he's also like a sexual molester.
Yeah.
So he's like raped and killed people and all kinds of other horrible shit, and it's not like I get the feeling that he wouldn't be adverse to raping someone underage because of the way that he like acts towards like Juliette Lewis in this film.
I think that's what makes them good characters, because like they're both psychos, but like the one brother can't control his other.
Yeah.
Like he's so much worse.
Yeah, George Clooney like knows that his brother has an issue, but he's just trying to get them to Mexico so that like maybe like something there will like make it so that Quentin Tarantino will not do what he does all the time, because he loves his brother, but he's like knows that something's wrong with him because he has like a disease. I mean, that's what it is when you fucking are, a sexual predator or like a pedophile. It's like something's fucking wrong with you.
And also the retainer thing is like a creepy touch. Like,
yeah, he puts in his bite or his bit.
Put in your bit.
Yeah,
it's like, this is just creepy.
he like grinds his teeth or whatever.
I grind my teeth.
Yeah, but there's just all kinds of like stuff like that in this film where like it's like you would look at Quentin Tarantino and think he's just like a nerd, but he's just as like capable of killing somebody as George Clooney's character. He's just got like that extra little bit of like fucked upness to him.
Yeah.
Which is like, what the fuck? So there's a part in this where they're showing like all the people that were killed so far, and they only do it this one time, but they show a picture of the guy that was killed at the gas station. And he's like holding this huge fish, and he's like, and it's like one of the funniest
Nice touch.
things. The death toll has changed to 16. 5 Texas Rangers, 8 police officers, and 3 civilians. One of the funny things, I guess it's not super funny, but it was kind of funny at the time, was like when they were fleeing the scene, like to escape, they ran over some lady and killed her, and I was like, Jesus. It was like some school teacher or whatever.
They're not messing around.
Yeah, and like this is the part where like things really kind of get shown that how fucked up Tarantino is, because like he comes back, Clooney does, and like kind of like talks to like Tarantino's like, here's the food, and you know they're eating and stuff, and they're talking, and then he like pulls out.
Did that make you really want a burger? By the way,
not really.
I wanted those burgers.
It looks gross as fuck. I knew you were gonna say something about it. You always like shit looking food,
like greasy ass burgers.
Well, they just look fake as fuck. I was like, this looks so nasty. They're like gray fucking sponges.
It's the same thing with Pulp Fiction when they're eating that burger. Like that always makes me want a burger. That is a tasty burger. Can I have a bit of your Sprite to wash this down?
A bit. But like, he pulls out like the 3rd burger and is like, or and it's like, where's the fucking hostage? Yeah. And he's like, huh? He like tries to act like she's not there, and like, where the fuck is she at? And he's like, oh, she's in the bedroom. And he's like, why is she in there? And like, you're like, okay, you know what's going on here.
You get a tiny glimpse that like she's been.
Yeah, he like opens the door and he just stands there, and it's like the look on Clooney's face is like horrified because he knows what he's done again.
Yeah.
It's like,
what is wrong with you?
He raped and killed this poor, like,
grandma.
Yeah, and he essentially like starts beating him, not beating him up, but he's like smacking him up against the wall. He's like, he's like, did I do something wrong? Is something fucking wrong with me? What the fuck are you doing? We don't do this shit. Yeah, it's like,
it's a pretty disturbing scene. Like,
yeah, and they don't show you the whole thing. They do a thing where they'll like, for like half a second, flash what it is on the screen, like wall superimposed over Clooney's face. It's just like another stylistic thing that they do in this film.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's awesome,
ridiculously good. And they never show it like in full. Like you can kind of see like her body as Clooney walks away, like in the background, but it's like not blurred out, but it's like out of focus. So you know. But it's just goes to show again like how messed up he is in this film. My next line is way further in the film, but not too much further, where he like is staring at Juliette Lewis's feet in the camper in the truck, and it's like, God damn it, dude, they're fucking gross.
Can you believe that Quentin Tarantino wrote a movie
right?
where he gets to put Selma Hayek's foot in his mouth?
God damn it.
Who would have thought?
I know, right? Should have put Harvey Keitel's foot in his mouth. That would actually have been hilarious. I would have been the
so that's one other thing I wanted to say is,
yeah,
I think this is Harvey Keitel's best movie too. Like, and he's been in tons of classics.
Yeah,
but he's so good in this and like much more low key.
Right.
Because he usually plays like psychos or like you know criminals, but in this he's just like
and calls baseball and basketball games, right? Oh wait, that's not Harvey Keitel. That's who's the guy that his name was Keitel and he like called basketball games?
Arb Albert?
No, his name was like Keitel. Something, I think. Hold on.
Nah.
Keep talking. Nah.
But I think he's awesome in this. Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. There was a guy called like Keitel that like used to.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it was specifically basketball games, but he would.
Was that his last name?
I don't know. I just remember a lot of times his character was on like Looney Tunes. Like I don't know.
Howard Cosell?
Yeah, that's it. Okay, never mind.
I'm glad we got to the bottom of that mystery.
I know, right? Same guy, right? You're like
Howard Cosell.
Yeah, that's how he sounds. Cotel.
Didn't Spenny do an impression of him?
Oh my god.
I think
Welcome
Howard
to
Cosell.
the Celebrity Deli.
Celebrity Deli.
I always go to the celebrity deli with Ollie. Oh my god. Hey, it's shot aheads. Go to the celebrity deli. I'm like, this is fucking. Just you don't say celebrity deli.
W.C. Fields going to the celebrity deli. It's like, why?
Come up and eat some pastrami sometime, big boy. It's like, what the fuck is this? Fucking horrible impressions. He's like, yeah. Oh man. I don't know what to say after that now. That was so fucking ridiculous. Speaking of George Clooney, though, actually, he was one of the many people that played Batman, as you well know.
I do know.
Because you were the one that wrote it.
That's not news to me.
But there are quite a few other people that have played Batman. I think after him, at least in the kind of like we're talking about, like first there was Keaton, you know, and then we've got Val Kilmer and like Clooney. Were those really like the main three before they kind of like did the other?
If you don't include Adam West, yeah.
Well, no, I'm talking about actual Batman, like the movies that were.
Adam West was actual Batman.
Dude,
to me.
Fuck you! Get the fuck out of here!
He sprayed that shark.
Get the
with
fuck
shark
out of
repellent
here!
bat spray. I saw it.
I want you to eat shit and get the fuck out of here.
Don't tell me it didn't happen.
What was that? Hear that? No, out of the ones for the Michael Keaton universe, it was like Keaton, Kilmer, Clooney, right? I think, or was there wasn't anybody else after that? Because I think after Val Kilmer, they were done. But of course, yeah, it started with Adam West. But I mean, we could be here all day. There's like so many people who played Batman, but I think that was just kind of the main thing, was that like he was part of the first kind of big cinematic universe after Keaton or whatever. But like, what'd you think of George Clooney as Batman?
I don't know.
I think that movie just in general didn't have like a good. Like, it wasn't, like, super great, so, I don't know. To me, like, I don't know.
It was just very generic, I thought.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like, not horrible, not great, just very average, I'd say.
I think it was just kind of one of those things where, like,
so...
they had already had the best, and then they just kind of, like... The problem was also not so much that they had the best, but they had, like... Michael Keaton is Batman, but they also had, like...
Keaton had the edge that no one else had.
Well, I mean, they also had...
You want to get nuts!
He was, like, lucky enough to have, like, the set design and, like, the darkness with Tim Burton and all that other stuff. Whereas, you know, Clooney and, you know, Val Kilmer had, like, the Adam West jokey part, which fits with, like, Adam West, but it does...
My Batman credit card. Never leave home with that.
It doesn't work with, like... You know, trying to meld the Keaton Batman with the West Batman, it just doesn't.
This is why Superman works alone.
Right. Like, what?
Next.
I'm like, actually, usually Batman works alone, not Superman. What are you talking about? Well, I mean, I guess he does, but still, it's like, huh? I'm like, I'd much rather be watching that movie right now than this fucking film. But yeah. But as you said, yeah, Adam West, great guy, great Batman. Rest in peace, Adam West. Sadly, he passed away a couple years ago. But yeah, he was the very first one.
And hilarious on Family Guy.
Yeah. Then we got Robert Pattinson will be the newest Batman, so we will see how that goes.
Yeah.
But George Clooney, yeah, I don't think that, like, generally, like you said, like, I think I always thought he was a really good actor, so I don't think that it was
it's not his fault.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those things where, like, I was like, he fucking fucked this movie up. Yeah, I was kind of like a little shocked that they went from like Michael Keaton to like George Clooney, which both of those people were like did great. They've done great stuff acting wise, to like Val Kilmer, who like he's kind of best known for like being in action films. He's kind of like not that action people can't act, but like
he's Mad Mardigan.
That movie sucks. I'm sorry to say, but like
go back to our previous episode.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Go back and do the fucking...
It doesn't suck.
Do the Buddy Shots fucking cut and cut out like 50 minutes of that movie. Ron Howard, you fucking cuck. Actually, I love Ron Howard. Or as they call him on Andy Griffith's show, Ronnie Howard. Michael Gough was always great as Alfred, says Ghost Hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Michael, stop.
Michael, shut the fuck up. I have many notes on here about Quentin Tarantino looking at feet.
Well, that's every one of his movies.
Let's just cut it down. Look up. Look down. Look out.
I read his novel. Like, he wrote his first novel, the novelization of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Foot.
And, of course, the cover has...
a foot on it.
Sharon Tate's feet.
You kind of have to kind of, like... respect how upfront he is about how much he doesn't give a fuck.
He just commented on it a couple weeks ago. I meant to bring that up. Did you hear that?
About what?
Like, someone brought it up to him. Like, why do you always have feet in your or something like that? And he's... I forget what he said exactly, but he was like... Basically, he's like, that's just good directing. Like, he not only defended it, he, like, doubled down that it was, like, great. Which, hey, that's... I mean, it's a free country. If that's your thing.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Sadly,
it is funny.
Sadly, liking feet isn't illegal. Actually, sadly, it is illegal.
Well,
holy shit!
I think I hear the cops coming.
Uh-oh. Me too.
They're coming for you.
I didn't look at no feet. Now put those shoes back on, man. He's got a shoe that was off under the table, and I'm looking at him right now. That was actually a Quentin Tarantino thing recently where somebody went up to him and was like, asked him to sign their feet, and he did, and like, she was like, will you rate them? And he's like, I wouldn't, be presumptuous enough to like, do that. And she was like, come on, and he was just like, she's like, would you put them in a movie? And he's like, yes. I was like, did you put anybody's feet in a movie? Like, I'm assuming women's only feet. Yeah, I don't have anything against people that are into feet or that kind of a thing. It's just funny because it's like literally become one of those things where it was pretty obvious that it kept happening in his films, and then it's become
at this point he's doubled
trademark,
down on it,
right? Yeah, which is honestly one of those things that like is just like I said, I just have respect for somebody that does that because it's funny and it's also like might as well. I mean, it's not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
So. In my notes, I kind of jumped ahead here, but like, I guess we could talk about like they pretty much get hijacked. Like the one family gets hijacked by the Gecko brothers here, and
Harvey Keitel plays a great character because he's like an ex-preacher who's having a crisis of faith.
He's pretty much like the original Mel Gibson in Signs.
Exactly. After his wife passed away.
Yeah. Original.
Yeah.
They fucking ripped it off.
What? M. Night Shyamalan ripping someone off? That would never happen.
No, I meant they ripped this movie off. They went to the fucking future and saw that movie first. I can't believe it. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I like the character. He has, like, a son and a daughter, and, like, his son is, like, Chinese, and, like, his daughter is not. And she's, like, white, I guess. Whatever, but like they it's one of those things where like they never really talk about like essentially he was either like adopted or like maybe the wife was like Chinese or something, but like I guess like when they first see him they think that they're lovers instead of like father and son.
It's hilarious.
He's like, are you guys together? He doesn't say that, but like, and he's just like, no, he's my son. And he's just like, funny,
my son's
you don't
not
look Japanese.
He's Chinese.
He's like, funny, you don't look, he's like, he looks Japanese or something like that, and he's like, he doesn't look Japanese either. He looks Chinese. And he's like, excuse fucking me. Reminds me a lot of like the kind of shit they did on like The Walking Dead for a while, where like they'd have like Merle and like Daryl be like complete racists, and then like people would kind of correct them, and they'd be like, fuck, because they were like on the outs of being like like being a racist. But they have to go across the border here, and it's like another scene that's like really well done with like
Will they make it across the board?
Yeah, like kind of like suspenseful stuff. And Cheech Marin is in this movie as 3 people.
Yep, that's really cool.
He's in the movie as the border patrol guy, the bar hype man at the very end of the movie. He's what's his face? The guy that's
he's their contact.
Yeah. But like when I first saw this, I didn't know that Cheech was in this movie 3 times. I only thought it was the 2 times, and I kind of the first time I don't even know if it was the 2 because by the time you get to the end of the movie, you kind of forget what you've been through, like all this stuff. You forget what you've been through.
You do.
But especially like the bar hype man, it's like he's kind of got all kinds of like, you know, long hair and all this other stuff on him.
Makes a pretty creepy vampire too.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't really say anything that he says in this movie as far as the bar hype man, because that's all I could really say of what he is. But he's essentially selling sex. But if you've seen this movie, you know what he says, and if you haven't, it's another iconic, like, long diatribe. And you either find it, like, funny, or it's gross as fuck. Because I remember, like, I was watching it again, and I was like, the more I watched it, I was like, this is fucking disgusting. But then there was a part where the angle is down low, and he, like, looks at the camera. That, like, brought it funny again.
Yeah.
But, like, when he talks about, like, smelly, I'm like, that's fucking disgusting, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's good stuff. They get into the bar finally. The bar is awesome. It's like, on the outside, it's like this apocalypse thing, but, like, when they get in, it looks even cooler.
It's like an Aztec, like, temple, kind of.
Which it actually is.
Ah.
Oh, my.
It's a dark night.
But, like, there's a fucking super young Danny Trejo in this movie as a bartender. He's, like, tall and, like, lanky, because, like, now he's, like, short and... Well, he's not, like, fat, but he's, like, more, like...
He's, like,
built.
beefy.
Yeah. But it's funny, because it's, like, to see him, like, you know... in this film, like...
In Desperado, that was even a couple years before this, where he's, like, the knife man.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember, like, watching, like, a thing recently, or maybe it was a year ago or so, where, like, he went through all his films, and he was, like, I can't remember how many films he's done, like...
It's outrageous.
Yeah, it's like he's in the running for, like, the most films.
He does, like, 10 a year or something.
Yeah. But, like... We've also got a main role for Tom Savini in this film,
as
to a
Sex
degree.
Machine.
I'm trying to think of, like, it's funny because, like, I think he's got as much screen time in this film as he does in Children of the Living Dead, where it's like,
yeah, it could be.
He's in it for, like, a later part of this film, but, like, same thing with Children of the Living Dead. He's only in that for a little bit. But I'm trying to think, like, is there a movie that he's, like, the main character of?
I don't think so. Well, like, I don't know. I'd have to
lot of times he does.
I think he's done
like,
a lot of stuff, but maybe like
he directed like the remake of Live Living Dead with Tony Todd that I really like, and I think you really like as well. Like,
oh yeah,
oh yeah,
oh yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah. But and then it's like, I mean, maybe he's in bit parts here and there, but like special effects, like, you know.
He had a decent part in Dawn of the Dead. As Blades.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but it's kind of like this.
Yeah.
Like
it's just a
side character.
It's not like, hey, he's like the main guy. It's kind of like Tony Todd. Like, he's a lot of times the side people, but in Night of the Living Dead, he was like the main guy.
Yeah,
and it's like
it's great because it's one of his few leading roles.
He's like, now you direct a film and I'll be the lead. He's like, no, fuck.
He's like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't direct fucking Tom Savini in a film.
Beware the remake.
Beware, sex machine. He'll sex you.
Stay safe, my brother.
Yeah, I was like, oh. So, yes, Tom Savini. And then they've got, I thought I wrote a note on this, but maybe I didn't. The guy that plays, he was in, like, a lot of, like, blaxploitation movies.
Yeah, Fred Williamson.
Yeah, he plays...
He's hilarious in this movie.
What is it?
I think he was recently canceled, too.
What'd he do?
I think he was like harassing a lot of people in that VFW movie.
That was actually one that I think that I wanted to like nominate eventually because it's also got Kreese in it.
Yeah, I think
he plays Frost,
people.
like sexually harassing him.
Yeah,
Jesus. All those people were like from a fucking different time. And it's like, God damn it, dude, what are you doing?
But he's hilarious in this movie, especially when he tells the story of like, then I killed one. I killed like from Vietnam or whatever.
Yeah, that was another one of those like, okay, this fucker's just getting their like bullshit story out of the way. Like him, and then like somebody. I think it was like, I don't know, like. There are parts in this film, like, as much as I like this film, that it's so obvious that this person's just spouting their life story. It kind of comes out of nowhere, too. It's like...
What did you think of the scene where basically everything takes a turn for the worst, with, like, Selma Hayek doing her snake dance?
I guess it would depend on how you would classify take a turn for the worst. You mean afterwards?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I was like, man, when she fucking had no clothes on almost and was stripping, that was disgusting.
I think I saw this when I was like 13 or 14, and like I probably went through puberty at that moment, like when I saw it.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
Yeah, I specifically remember this because when I was younger and I watched this, it just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because there was also a part where like, once they get in, there's like all these people stripping or like, you know, like dancing,
gratuitous nudity,
and there's like a random lady up in the top when it's topless,
like a little cubby.
Yeah, it's topless, and everyone else essentially has all their clothes on. But I'm like, did I see that right? And I remember I rewound the DVD a bunch and was like, all right. But yeah, I remember like I was like, holy shit. Apparently, I read that like Salma Hayek is like deathly afraid of snakes. And like Robert Rodriguez said, oh, that's totally fine, you know, like Madonna's gonna do it, so we'll just get her to do this part instead. And Salma Hayek was like, fuck. So she went through like 2 months of like therapy to get over her fear of snakes. Nice. And Robert Rodriguez was lying just because he wanted to have her do it. And I was just like, I guess like there was no dance choreographed for this. It was just like the same thing he told some other lady in another film that he directed, like just to feel the music and do whatever you want. And I guess it like turned out pretty legit. So it's good stuff.
Yeah,
reminds me a lot of like the scene in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where like Jessica Rabbit comes out and everything stops and everybody's just like, you know, watches the one person.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny to see people, just scenes of people reacting. There's like a part where like you know, she's dancing and then like off in the corner you see Sex Machine and he's like I'm like, it's like, did they not catch that or what? But I don't know. He has a really cool thing. I don't know if we even talked about that. Maybe we did, but like
his
I think
weapon?
I said cock gun, but like he has this. He actually kind of has two weapons. He has a whip.
That's right.
Where he pulls a dude's beer out of his hand and like starts drinking out of it. And I'm like, why didn't you just order a new one? And then like the guy pulls a knife and tries to like go for him, and he's just like, and like this little thing unfurls from his like essential like groin area, and it's like a gun with like two balls that are like, you know, have. And it's
what
like,
genius came up with that?
Yeah, and then it like furls back in, and I'm like, how does that?
Yeah.
But it's a really cool weapon. I've never seen anything like that before or since.
Nope.
Because everybody knows how. I mean, it's like huge. As far as like, I don't know. I feel like it's a pretty iconic weapon.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, after the dance, because what happens is like essentially they beat the fuck out of the bar hype guy when they first come in, and when he finally gets back up, he's like, these motherfuckers beat me up and shit. And then they're talking about like Clooney and Tarantino, and like they what's it called, Tarantino's already been shot in the hand from earlier in the film, and they like stab him in the hand again, and he's like, nah. And like once they like kill these guys, quote unquote kill them, Salma Hayek like sees the blood and she can't like hold back anymore, and she's like, "You're dead, motherfucker," or whatever she says. And, like, she turns into, like, a snake vampire. And, like, jumps on him and starts, like, biting him and, like, licking his hand and all this shit. And, like, essentially Quentin Tarantino is being murdered. And then the vampires start, like, coming out of the woodwork, and it's, like, all the strippers and some of the people that work at the bar and stuff. Yeah, it's a shit show.
Yeah, it's pretty much a bloodbath from that point on.
And then, like, the band turns into vampires, and they're, like, playing a human torso with a head, which, like, makes no sense. But it's hilarious as fuck. It, like, goes over, they're like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And the head's like, oh. I'm like, how did they get that head on there?
How'd they switch those instruments out so quickly?
It was like, and they actually play?
Yeah.
It's like, when?
Like, plug them in?
Yeah. And of course, Tom Savini's about to be attacked by a vampire, and he shoots it with a cock gun. It's so good.
Yeah, there's lots of good gags from this point on.
Yeah. So Danny Trejo gets killed by Tom Savini. And when he dies, his eyeballs, like, melt out of his head and roll into the corner pockets of the wolf table. It's like CG-ified eyeballs. But everything else,
Looney Tunes style.
a lot of the effects, though, are really good unless it's CG. Like, you can tell when it's CG, but it's not used a lot.
Yep.
Like, they have, like, a rat creature later on that, I think, who turns into that? Is that Sex Machine?
I think so.
But, like, it's fucking legit. Like, it's on George Clooney, and it's like, you can legit, they have, like, a full shot of him underneath the creature, like, it's like, okay,
yeah, I love that stuff.
that's a real fucking creature. And then they're like, now let's kill that fucking band. Like, and then, like, they're like, fuck you, everybody, good night. And they, like, fucking disappear or blow up or something. Which I thought was funny, but Tom Savini gets bit, and he doesn't tell anybody. So, yep, that's always, like, the one thing that happens in some of these films. Not always, but it's like, he's like, he becomes, like, super comical because he's like, he gets bit, and then he's like, and then he, like, puts on his jacket, and then, like, his fucking hand, like, transforms, and he's like, and then his other hand transforms, and he's like, and then his teeth come out, and he's like, it's just, like, cartoony style. And, like, I think one of the kids looks over, and he's like, because they're listening to, like, I think this is while, what's his face, Frost, is given his, like, thing about him being a nom or whatever.
I killed one. I killed two. I killed two.
Yeah,
He's like going
why
on.
would you go like that if you were killing somebody? I'm like, Matt, y'all. You're like, what? But, like, there's a part where they're like, we need some crosses. And the one kid's like, we got crosses all over the place. And Savini goes, yeah, Peter Cushing does that all the time. And I'm like, dude, I never caught that till, like, now for some reason. Like,
yeah, I really liked the improvised weapons in this movie because they, like, make water balloons with holy water that become, like, grenades and, like, super soakers.
Which, like, don't really do a lot. Like, I was kind of like...
Well, it ripped that one guy's face off.
When I was, like, I think, like, I was thinking, like, it would have been so much easier if they had literally just filled up a hose and he just blessed the hose or something. And they just sprayed them all, but instead they were like, let's fucking fight them out in the open. And I'm like, you actually have the advantage if they come through the choke, but it's a movie, so whatever. Yeah, it's the part of the movie where everybody's talking about their past randomly in exposition. I was in there. Tom Savini, hearing things. He's got fangs now, and then his hands transform. This is the part where, like, they have this cool scene where they're all, like, finding stuff that the vampires took from, like, the bikers and the truckers from, like, all the years and stuff that they've been doing this. And they're gearing up for a fight. They actually find a fucking crossbow that's inside of, like, a coffin-shaped thing. Yeah. And I was like, this is either, like, just a really cool thing somebody, like, had, or, like, was this, like, something that somebody, like, a vampire thing? Like, it was really cool that it was in the movie. trying to think of some of the other stuff that they like found, but like, yeah, it's just like they made this like random like they had this like drill like auger thing that like Clooney put a fucking sharpened stick into, and I'm like, wouldn't it just be easier to take a regular sharpened stick? Because like holding that, how
like
heavy it was, yeah, I was like, but it was hilarious.
This is part that I always thought was surprising, because Harvey Keitel dies in this movie, and like he gets bit, and there's a pretty good scene where he's like tells his kids like, you have to promise to kill me.
Right, yeah,
because like they can't say it, and he's like, no, seriously,
he
like,
essentially is
I'll kill myself right now if you don't
right.
like, promise to kill me,
because he doesn't want to be like a liability and stuff, and like he's like, you know, I will fight with you guys, but I'm already dead. And it was just like, usually they don't do that in films where they're like, this guy is fucked, they're like, there'll be a way to save him,
right?
But like
nope, no chance.
But it's like that happens, and like he's like, you have to promise me, you have to swear to God, and they both like swear to God, like Jesus Christ, that they'll do it. And then they end up like, they get out there, like his son gets fucking torn apart. He's like like essentially that's what he's doing when he's being like grabbed by all these like people in costumes, like these
That's
monsters.
not an exaggeration.
Yeah, he's like he's like, kill me, my sister. He's like so yeah, essentially they just, I don't know, I don't really know what to say about like the action part of this, because it's like you just have to kind of watch
it's just like gag after gag.
Yeah,
and then the ending's really cool, because Clooney and the daughter are the only ones that survive, and she's like, I want to go with you, but he sends her away.
Send her away. I shall not see her in my presence. Yeah, he's essentially like, I'm a mother, or he's like,
I'm a bastard.
Yeah, but I'm not a fucking bastard or something.
It's a great line. Essentially,
he's just like, if I take you with me, like, some horrible shit will happen to you, and people might rape you or some other shit. But
there's one goof that always jumps out. There's a goof.
It's a damn goof!
Where, basically the way they defeat the final vampires is by shooting holes in the building so that the sunlight comes through.
But it's a goof.
But the goof is, the sunlight comes through at like all different angles. Like some are pointing up, some are pointing down. It's like they would just come from the direction of the sun.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about like sun, like the hype man was out there when they got there, and it was still sunny.
It was dusk.
So, that was bullshit.
Another goof.
Mother goose and her fucking goofs. But at the end, they like pull back and show that the bar was actually like the top floor of like a pyramid, like an Incan pyramid, and there's like all kinds of trucks and stuff in this huge pile.
It's such a cool shot. It's like the icing on the cake.
It's like a matte painting.
Yeah, looks so cool.
Yeah, it's the kind of stuff that they did like with Batman, like in the original Batman movies, like Batman with Keaton and stuff, where they would like have a set, but then they do like matte paintings to like extend Gotham and stuff, and it's like they need to bring that shit back.
Well, now they do it with CG. And
well, I mean, they could do it even better if they like took the matte painting and like it would just be more high quality now. Like use the matte painting. Oh, I'm like, Scotty, don't. So, I was going to have a bunch of quotes from this film, but I went through and literally there's only really one that I could even put on here that wasn't
There's so many
horrible
great quotes in this movie, but
there's only like a couple that you can even put that aren't just horrible that I could say. So
there's going to be payback time. I mean, oh yeah.
You're like, I'm Clint Eastwood. So this is actually kind of just at the end of the film. The guy, Carlos, he's like, what are they? Were they like psychos? Or did they look like fucking psychos? Is that what they look like? They were vampires. Psychos do not explode when sunlight hits them. I don't give a fuck how crazy they are.
Great line.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it's a Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez film. I'm sure, like, people have quoted this movie billions of times in college.
Yep. Lord knows I have.
I have not. Because I wasn't in college.
Nor did you quote this movie. Until now.
I just refrained. I'm like, I abstain from quotes. Hashtag no quotes.
Yeah, great movie.
So what would you give this film?
Oh, 5 out of 5. Easy. In fact, I might give it 6.
Can't.
6 bags of popcorn.
You can. There's only 5.
It's a 6-bagger.
5.
Yeah, 5. Easy.
5 for you?
Yep. It's one of my favorite movies.
I'd give it like a 4.5.
Cool.
There's a couple parts of this film that, like, as much as I like this film, like the part where people are just telling their backstory, it becomes a little, like, not like boring at all, but it becomes super obvious that that's literally all that's happening. Yeah. But that doesn't, like, I guess I should say like a 4.95. I'll put my body in overdrive. It's hard for me to give like any movie like a perfect score, but maybe eventually we should bump it up to a 10. Yeah. And then 100.
I'd give it a 9.95 out of 4.
I'd give it a 9.95, but yeah, I don't know. I can't think of any film I would ever give a perfect score to. There's always something that I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. The day that I give a movie a perfect score, and the day
the Castle of Cagliostro. I'd give that a 1.
The movie sucks dick. I'd give that one. I don't know. I'd give this movie an 8, and I'd give that movie like a 9.95, just because they don't use the Lupin the Third music in it. So, but all
right,
still great movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's the second best vampire movie ever.
Yeah. Besides Vampire in Venice. Yeah. It's the first best vampire film that we've watched this week.
Yep. Easy.
I should have watched a bunch more vampire movies just so that I could say that fucking Nosferatu in Venice was dog shit. But I guess I didn't have to.
You didn't need
to. It sucks. Anyway. I'm sorry, but it sucks. So next week is on October 30th, the day before Halloween. Are you ready for this, Matt?
Slasher week.
Slasher week / Halloween week. Because I called it Slasher week, but then I realized that only one of the films was Halloween week, and originally we were going to have Slasher week be this week, but then I was like, why the fuck didn't I have it be the day before Halloween? Because I'm an idiot. So what are we watching next week, Matt?
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and Halloween Kills.
Season of the Bitch.
Nice.
So Halloween Kills is... So that's Halloween 1, then Halloween Kills. Or, no, Halloween 1...
So I was thinking about it. They should call Halloween Kills Halloween 2-3. Because it's the third Halloween 2.
Right.
Yeah. So next week...
Because essentially...
we're watching Halloween 3 and Halloween 2-3.
But we're also going to have to... I'm going to have to watch the one before Halloween Kills.
Yeah, man.
But my question is, so what did they do? Did they do Halloween 1, 2, and then it goes 4, 5, and 6? Then they redid it, and they did it. It's actually just Halloween 1, then Halloween H2O, and Halloween Resurrection. Then it's Halloween
2.
Is this called Halloween 2?
Mm-hmm.
Like the new one before Halloween Kills is called Halloween 2?
No, it was just called Halloween. But they made a Halloween Rob Zombie and then a Halloween 2.
Well, yeah, I mean as far as like the ones that were like not like they're like remakes or whatever. Well, I guess these are essentially
it's the third remake.
Well, no, essentially these are ones that all split off of the very first John Carpenter Halloween, but none of them take into account the second Halloween movie, right? Or do they? Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think because
I don't know.
We'll talk about it next week.
So confusing.
But the only one that isn't part of any of that, we are watching as well. Halloween 3.
Should be fun.
Yeah. So, do you have anything else to say for this week?
I think we nailed it. Okay. Another perfect podcast.
Well, I don't want to hear anything else for you until next week.
All right.
Because I said, do you have anything else to say for this week? Be silent, but don't be violent. Okay. Well, thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah.
Bye.